Hey, what's up? It is Dan, or DMath96 here, and welcome to what should be episode 9 of Sebastian's Return to Glory here at the British Grand Prix. But today it's going to be something a little bit different because I accidentally deleted the footage I had of the race, and therefore I can't put it on YouTube. I know, I'm so sorry about this. It was a complete accident, and hopefully it won't happen again, and it will be back, everything back to normal for the Hungarian Grand Prix. But I've decided that I'm just going to quickly tell you guys what actually happened in the British Grand Prix, as I don't want to do the 50% race all over again, as it's just going to be a waste of time, and I don't have enough time myself. I'm going on holiday in a few days once I'm recording this, and I don't want to do a custom standings, to be quite honest, because they're such a pain to make and put in the videos each time. So on your screen right now is a 3-lap race around Silverstone that I just recorded with Sebastian Vettel, and I'm just going to quickly tell you guys what happened in the race and in qualifying and so on. So we'll start off from the Austrian Grand Prix. We finished in 4th position. For those who don't know, Valtteri Bottas just beat us to 3rd, with Nico Rosberg finishing down in 6th, and Lewis Hamilton won with Kimi Raikkonen in 2nd place. So the Drivers' Championship standings right now is Sebastian Vettel leads with 149 points, 24 points ahead of Nico Rosberg in 2nd, so we've extended the gap after the Austrian Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton in 3rd, and then followed by Valtteri Bottas, Daniel Ricciardo, Kimi Raikkonen, Max Verstappen, Daniel Kvyat, Felipe Massa and Romain Grosjean. That's the top 10 of the championship so far. So for the British Grand Prix, at the start of qualifying, it was okay qualifying session. We got 2nd in Q1, followed by 1st in Q2, and we ended up qualifying 2nd for the race in Q3. Nico Rosberg collected pole position, with Valtteri Bottas and Felipe Massa lining up 3rd and 4th, Lewis Hamilton in 5th, and Kimi Raikkonen in 6th. So we're hoping to try and get another podium again today. And at the start of the race, it didn't look particularly brilliant. We got overtaken by Valtteri Bottas from the start. We got off to a very poor start, but luckily we didn't lose any positions. We just lost 2nd, so we dropped to 3rd by the end of lap 1, and Nico Rosberg and Valtteri Bottas began to pull away from the rest of the field. So Valtteri Bottas really showing how quick he was this race, to be quite fair. Later on, Kimi Raikkonen then challenged us. We had a good battle with Kimi, but we managed to hold that off just before the first round of pit stops, and at the same time we were gradually closing in onto Valtteri Bottas, but we just couldn't make a pass really. The Williams is very quick around this track, and it really showed we couldn't pass Bottas whatsoever. And when we actually pitted for our first pit stop, forgot to mention this by the way, we decided to do a 2-stop strategy. The default setup was a 1-stop, but I think we chose to do a 2-stop just because of the tyre wear. You can't really last a 1-stop round this track. The interesting thing is though, Valtteri Bottas also chose to do a 2-stop, whilst the 2 Mercedes drivers decided on a 1-stop, which is quite a risky choice to be brutally honest. But Bottas pitted for the option tyres when we pitted, whilst we've pitted on the primes. And that was sort of a bad choice for myself really. I think we should have pitted on the options, because Bottas would have been on the same pace as Bottas as well. But Bottas was pulling away from us until a couple of laps after the pit stop. I don't know which lap it was, of course, but he had an incident with Daniel Kvyat, who he had a tyre puncture. I believe he clipped the curb early on in the race and he punctured his tyre, and he was obviously driving very slowly right in the middle of the track, and then for some reason Bottas crashed straight into the back of him, losing his front wing and then causing obviously us to take 2nd. Bottas actually dropped, I think he had to pit again for a new front wing. He dropped outside the, I don't know what happened to him, but he finished the race in 8th eventually. He originally finished in 7th, but a 5-second time penalty for the collision with Kvyat, which I think was Kvyat's fault, not Bottas, to be quite fair, dropped him down to 8th. So we were promoted to 2nd because of that. Felipe Massa moved up to 3rd position, and Nico Rosberg still led. But Lewis Hamilton was on a charge throughout the entire race, which, I'm going to be honest, was very uneventful. Nothing much happened in this race, which is why I'm doing a recap as well, as the footage did being deleted, of course. But we were being held up by Roberto Merri just before our final pit stop, and it didn't really help out because Lewis Hamilton actually caught up because of this, and we struggled to pass Merri, and just before we ended up pitting, Lewis Hamilton actually managed to pass us, and because of Roberto Merri, once we exited the pit lane, we actually dropped down to 30 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. That was the gap really, and we would unfortunately stay in 3rd place till the end of the race. Lewis Hamilton was just too far to catch up. Even though we were on the faster tyres, we couldn't catch up to Lewis Hamilton whatsoever. We had like 10 or 9 laps to do it. It was just not possible to make up about 30 seconds in the space of about 10 laps on option tyres. So the full race result, if I can remember it correctly, was Nico Rosberg ended up winning the race, and that means he closes the points gap in the championship. We'll have a look at the standings at the end of the race. Lewis Hamilton finished in second, so it's Mercedes 1-2, with us, Sebastian Vettel, taking third, and Kimi Raikkonen in fourth, with Daniel Ricciardo fifth. Romain Grosjean actually came and finished in sixth, and a fantastic result for him. 7th was Nico Hulkenberg, 8th was Valtteri Bottas, originally 7th, but a 5-second time penalty for the collision with Kvyat, which I really don't understand. Then we had Nasr 9th, and Carlos Sainz collected the final point in 10th position. We have one retirement, which was Felipe Massa, who retired with an engine failure right towards the end of the race, but it didn't really make much impact really for the entire race. So now, as we look at the podium right now, we're going to move on to the Drivers' Championship standings. And Sebastian Vettel still leads the Drivers' Championship from 14 points now, as Nico Rosberg closed the gap to 10 points as we move on to the Hungaroring for round 10 of the World Championship. Lewis Hamilton has also dropped points on Nico Rosberg, finishing behind him, and Valtteri Bottas dropping down to 8th place, and actually dropped a load of points behind. He's 61 points off the lead and 31 points off Lewis Hamilton, so looks like third place could be out of question for him. Ricciardo still lies on 5th. The championship really stays the same. The top 10 stays the same anyway, with Raikkonen, Verstappen, Kvyat, Massa and Grosjean following behind. Nasr staying 11th, but interestingly, Nico Hulkenberg's points has leapfrogged him ahead of the 2 McLaren drivers, and the drivers yet to score, I do believe, are Marcus Ericsson, Sergio Perez and the 2 Manners. As we look at the Constructors' Championship now, and Mercedes still lead that, extending their lead to 44 points from Ferrari in 2nd, Williams in 3rd and Red Bull Racing in 4th position. Toro Rosso still lying 5th, with Lotus 6th, McLaren dropping down to 7th, with Sauber still 8th, and then Force India 9th, and Manor the only team that have yet to score. So that has been the British Grand Prix for Sebastian's return to glory. Again, I apologise for losing the files, accidentally deleting them. Hopefully it won't happen again, and for Hungary it should be back to normal, and we should have a proper 50% race, and we shouldn't have to do this race recap again, hopefully. So, hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please leave a like, comment down below, subscribe if you're new to the channel. Until next time, guys, hope to catch you guys for Hungary for round 10 of the championship. It's been DMath96, and I'll catch you guys later.